Nick Hodge here with Daily Profit Cycle. It's Wednesday, August 25th. Going to meander a bit today in this little talk here. I wanted to talk about the media, the inflation narrative, and the polarization that they drive. I've, of course, been talking about inflation for well over a year now, have been adamant that it wasn't transitory, have explained how it's manifested itself in various asset and commodity classes, from the copper to coffee to housing onward. And I guess here, as we head into the fall, we're really starting to see that in fact it wasn't transitory, as I was telling you, and in fact housing prices continue to inflate. And after a brief pause when the media was talking about falling copper and falling oil prices, both those commodities have resumed their bullish ascensions, and really other commodities never deviated from them. So this transitory inflation narrative you were hearing in the media was just absolutely false and wrong. And I'm not going to get into the reasons why they need you to believe that inflation is transitory. But what I do want to talk about is, how you navigate that for yourself. I don't spend a lot of time looking at mainstream media, whether it's financial media or news media in general. I find that if I can look at the actual event that they're discussing, or the data that they're discussing, that I can make informed decisions on my own. I don't need to be told what to think about certain things by the media, but a lot of people do, right? And that's the pitfall of the common man. They can't step outside those narrative boxes and figure out what's going on for themselves. And so, the articles I'm seeing this week are about continued rising housing prices, and how, food inflation and shortages are still with us. There's restaurant chains that can't get chicken, and food prices, as I've been telling you for a year, across the world continue to inflate. And we're worried about how we're going to get our food, and how we're going to pay our whatever for our new house. And, what I want to tell you is that I don't worry about any of that stuff, because I've been owning the inflation in my account for over a year. If you followed along with me, like my premium readers have, your account is at or near all-time highs, and your account itself has inflated. So, that's what I want to talk about. I think for a second, because I'm seeing articles this week about, how are we going to get our chicken? How are we going to get our beef? Similar to the onset of this virus, right? And it's like, well, last weekend I met my farmer, my rancher from Northern Oregon, and picked up another half cow and a pasture raised hog. Like, I don't worry about beef and pork prices. And, you can say that's hoity-toity or whatever, but, it's really not. It's executing wisely in the capitalist system so that you have enough capital to procure the things you need, even if there is a shortage or things are inflating. That's called winning the fucking game. And so those are the things you need to do to stay ahead of, whatever's going on out there, right? And so that was the second thing I wanted to say. I'm not sure how long this inflation is going to last. I'm not sure which sector of the market is going to outperform next, but I watch the data every single day, and I watch the market every day, and so I can adapt and prosper no matter what happens in the market. I realize that many of you and most people aren't students of the market, can't sit there every day. You have real lives and real jobs, and but that's what people like me are for. And I guess what I'm telling you, that these narratives that you see in Bloomberg or CNBC, that's not meant to help you invest or to allocate your capital or to tell you what to buy. It's really just, head turning, navel gazing, what just happened yesterday type stuff. And so I try to tune all of that out, I guess. And so, and then own the things that are inflating. So, and I'm going to kick a dead horse, but, multiple ways to do that, right? So for the earlier part of this year, energy was inflating, right? Oil went to $70. I had members owning things like the XLE fund, the Energy Select Spider, and then the rotating into the XOP. And then a couple of weeks or up to a month ago, noticed that the rotation is on, and other sectors are starting to perform better. So we go into real estate, right, via the XLRE and via specific REITs that we can capitalize on this inflation. Like we bought a REIT that was that owns trailer parks, man. Like, you got to pay more to live in a trailer park now, but I can just own the REIT that owns the trailer park. And so I don't feel bad about that. I don't apologize about that. That's me operating in the system in which I find myself. And so you can do that with anything. And so also screaming higher are critical and clean energy metals, the things we need for this $3.5 trillion infrastructure package, for example. We're to build out a nationwide grid that supports the electrification of automobiles. It takes a lot of copper, takes a lot of nickel, takes a lot of lithium, and without mincing words, I've funded those in a venture capitalistic fashion for the better part of a half decade, and many of those private metal investments I've made 300% or more on, some of them upwards of 800, 1,000% or more, and in many cases private members, accredited investors who finance those deals alongside me have made out just as well. I put out a video about this a couple of weeks ago about a silver mine tour I went on, and I was explaining to paid readers how you can buy precious metals at multiple levels. You can buy a fund that holds the metal, whether that's a physical trust or a paperback trust. You can buy large miners, you can buy small miners, etc., and you can finance explorers and things separately. And I do all of those things and have been doing those things for 5 years. And so when I see these articles come out now, like, oh my gosh, where are we going to find this copper? Where are we going to get the lithium for this? I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, this has sort of been a problem for a half decade. And as these metal prices inflate to incent that new supply to come online, I'm like Wayne Gretzky here, just like waiting for the puck to come my way. So a couple of weeks ago, we sold several 100% in a company called Critical Elements Lithium that, just got its permit to become one of the newest lithium mines in Canada. And there's several other metals companies like that we own that have done quite well on, and I continue to finance them privately. And so, again, I see these narratives about inflation and what's coming next, and I continue to tell you that if you look to someone like me who's got their eye on the ball all the time, I can parse this out for you as far as how to invest in those things. With real dollars, with actual asset allocations across the entire spectrum of the market, from blue chip NYSE listed companies and funds all the way to, writing big private checks, venture capital style, into pre-IPO and private deals. So 2 links, I guess, I'll put below this video is one is a link to that Silver Tour video, so you can check out how I do that research and a bit how I invest. And then the link below that will be a link to join Hodge Family Office, where we finance these companies privately, because we have a private placement that's open this week. We'll be closing in a matter of days. And when I have new private deals open like that, I invite new members to join to take advantage of that. So I hope you will, because that's how you get in the earliest stage on the things that are inflating. And the last thing I'll say before I forget about my chart here is that among all the angst in the stock market last week, amid the spiking volatility and the couple of days of sell-offs we have, this bottom line here, the S&P 500 continues to hit all-time highs, albeit with different sectors leading now. Real estate, financials doing better, as opposed to energy and IT, for example. And then top line there is the CRB commodities index. So, and when you hear these things about inflation easing or lumber prices are down, that's media talking. The data says that the commodity index is still at 5-year highs and looking very bullish. So own the things that are inflating and don't worry about the inflation. Tune out the noise, call it like you see it, and do things for yourself. Nick Hodge signing off for Daily Profit Cycle.